Building a strong vocabulary can help you express yourself clearly and understand complex ideas. The New York Times is full of rich language, offering words that make writing more engaging and precise. This collection of 200 advanced words from the New York Times will boost your communication skills and make reading and writing more enjoyable. Whether you need them for academic work, professional settings, or everyday conversations, these words will help you sound more confident and informed. Let's dive in.
Scorch. To burn or dry up intensely. Sear. Char. Singe. Scald. The scorched earth escape. The travelers trudged across the desert, their feet scorching under the blazing sun. The relentless heat seared their skin, making every step agonizing. As they passed through a ruined village, they saw charred ruins, a reminder of the fire's wrath. Smoke curled from singed rooftops, and even the air felt scalding. They pushed forward, praying for refuge. Just as despair threatened to consume them, a mirage appeared, an oasis shimmering like salvation. Though the land was burned, hope had not been extinguished. Rack up. To accumulate or achieve. Amass. Collect. Gather. Acquire. The treasure hunter's triumph. In the depths of the ancient jungle, Leo sought to rack up treasures lost to time. He amassed golden relics one by one, collecting artifacts hidden beneath vines and stones. His map led him to a cavern where forgotten riches lay, waiting to be gathered by bold souls. As he carefully acquired each gemstone, the weight of success settled in his heart. But just as he reached for the final prize, the walls trembled. The cave was collapsing. He dashed toward the exit, clutching his hard-earned bounty. Emerging into daylight, he knew he had conquered the challenge, racking up history's forgotten marvels. Cloud. To obscure or darken. Blurry. Dim. Fog. Obscure. The hidden truth. As Mia stepped into the abandoned mansion, dust clouded the air, making her vision blurry. Faint candlelight dimmed the shadows, casting eerie reflections on the walls. A thick fog rolled in through the broken windows, obscuring everything beyond a few feet. Determined to uncover the truth about the past, she brushed away the haze, revealing an old diary that had been long forgotten. The mystery had been clouded for years, but now the truth was no longer obscure. It was clear. Ceasefire. A temporary stop to conflict. Truce. Armistice. Respite. Suspension. The unexpected truce. The battlefield echoed with chaos as both sides fought relentlessly. Just when defeat seemed inevitable, a ceasefire was called, a brief respite amidst destruction. Weapons lowered, soldiers eyed one another with uncertainty. The tension lingered, but the armistice brought a fleeting peace. Smoke cleared, revealing the toll of war. This suspension of violence gave them a chance to reflect, to question if endless fighting was the answer. And in that moment, hope surfaced. Perhaps the truce could become something greater, a chance for peace to prevail. Muted, softened, quiet, or lacking intensity. Subdued, muffled, hushed, stifled. The silent farewell. The rain fell in muted drops, tapping gently against the window pane. Inside the dimly lit room, voices were subdued, a quiet sorrow hanging in the air. The farewell was near, but words felt muffled by unspoken emotions. The past echoed in hushed memories, every heartbeat stifled with longing. She looked at the train beyond the misted glass, knowing it would take her far away. No grand gestures, no dramatic goodbyes, just a soft, lingering touch, a silent promise. As the train pulled away, all that remained was the muted sound of raindrops and the quiet ache of distance. Way. To carefully consider options. Evaluate. Assess. Contemplate. Ponder. The crossroads decision, standing at the edge of two diverging paths, Aiden paused to weigh his choices. Should he take the shortcut through the dense forest or the long, safe road? He evaluated the risks. Darkness loomed in the woods, but the journey would be quicker. He assessed his supplies, realizing he barely had enough provisions. As he contemplated the whispers of the wind, doubt clouded his mind. He pondered the possible dangers that lurked beyond the trees. Finally, taking a deep breath, he made his decision. With firm steps, he walked forward, embracing the unknown, confident in his choice. Tariff. a tax or duty imposed on imports or exports. Levy, duty, toll, charge. The merchant's dilemma. As the ship docked, the merchant prepared to unload his finest silk. However, the new tariff imposed by the king threatened his profits. The heavy levy on foreign goods meant he had to pay more before selling his wares. He gritted his teeth as officials collected the duty, reducing his earnings further. Other traders protested, arguing that the toll was unfair. The merchant pondered his next move. Should he continue or abandon his trade? In the bustling market, every coin counted and every charge weighed on his decision. With a deep breath, he pressed forward, knowing that challenges were part of the journey. Overshadow, to make someone or something seem less important. Eclipse, diminish, obscure, outshine. The fading light. In the grand festival, Liam stepped onto the stage, ready to perform. But as his first note rang out, the dazzling star singer arrived, eclipsing all attention. His confidence diminished, lost beneath the thunderous applause for another. Shadows obscured his presence, drowning his efforts. He had dreamed of shining, but was outshone by someone greater. Yet, as the night went on, he realized his music still mattered. Though momentarily overshadowed, his voice carried into the crowd, reaching those who truly listened. Top, to surpass or exceed. Outdo, overcome, beat, conquer. The ultimate challenge. Ethan had trained for months to top the toughest mountain trail. He pushed himself harder each day, determined to outdo his past efforts. The steep climbs tested his strength, but he refused to let fatigue overcome him. As he reached the final stretch, he knew he had to beat his fears and doubts. One last surge of effort, and he conquered the peak. Standing atop the world, he realized that true victory was not just in reaching the summit but in surpassing his own limits. Somber, dark, gloomy, or serious in tone. Melancholy, mournful, grave, dreary. The silent farewell. The room was somber, draped in shadows as the flickering candle barely illuminated the mournful faces. A melancholic air filled the space, heavy with unspoken words. Outside, the sky was dreary, dark clouds mirroring the sadness within. No one spoke. The grave silence was louder than any sound. As she stepped toward the door, the farewell weighed on her heart. Though her departure was inevitable, she knew the memories would remain, soft whispers in the quiet, lingering like the last breath of the past. Scarcity, a shortage or lack of something. Shortage, deficiency, dearth, insufficiency. The last drop. In the heart of the desert, water was a rarity. The village suffered from a scarcity of rain, every cracked well a sign of its shortage. The people felt the growing deficiency, each drop more precious than gold. Crops withered in the dearth of moisture, and the sky showed no mercy. As hope faded, a traveler arrived with a plan to dig deeper, past the layers of insufficiency. Days later, the earth rumbled, and water burst forth like a long-awaited miracle. Scarcity had tested their spirit, but perseverance turned drought into abundance. Reign, the period of rule or dominance. Rule, govern, command, dominate. The rise of the Golden King. For years, King Alden's reign brought prosperity to the kingdom. His wise rule strengthened the empire, turning barren lands into golden fields. He governed with fairness, earning the trust of his people. Under his command, peace thrived, and enemies trembled at his might. His name dominated history, carved into the annals of time. Yet, as the years passed, he knew that no reign lasted forever. As the sun set on his kingdom, he stood atop his throne, watching his legacy take root. Though his time would fade, his story would live on, an eternal flame in the hearts of his people. Loom, to appear in a threatening way or to be imminent. Emerge, hover, approach, encroach. The looming storm. Dark clouds loomed over the horizon, warning of an approaching storm. The sailors watched as danger emerged from the distance, the heavy winds beginning to hover over the trembling sea. Waves crashed violently, threatening to encroach upon their fragile vessel. Time was running out. They had to act fast. With quick hands and steady hearts, they fought against the chaos, determined to escape the looming disaster. Just as the storm reached its peak, They steered towards safety, leaving the furious skies behind. The threat had come close, but their courage was greater. Seize. To take hold of forcibly or suddenly. Grasp. Capture. Snatch. Clutch. The thief's gamble. Under the cover of night, Leo moved swiftly through the shadows, ready to seize the legendary artifact. He grasped the lock, carefully picking it open as the air thickened with tension. With a final twist, the door creaked, revealing the treasure waiting to be captured. His heartbeat raced as he snatched the golden idol, clutching it tightly in his trembling hands. But just as victory seemed assured, alarms blared. The guards had spotted him. Now, the real challenge began, escaping with his prize before fate could snatch it away. Come forward. To step up and offer help, information, or oneself. Step up. Volunteer. Present oneself. Offer assistance. The witness's courage. The courtroom was silent, tension thick in the air. The judge called for someone to come forward, but fear gripped the crowd. No one dared to step up and speak the truth. The accused waited, desperation in his eyes, hoping for justice. Just then, a lone figure volunteered, walking steadily to the stand. He presented himself before the court, offering assistance and revealing what truly happened. His words broke through the silence, shifting the tide. With courage, he proved that standing for truth was always worth it. Record-setting. Achieving a performance higher than ever before. Unprecedented. Groundbreaking. Landmark. Historic. The day of glory, the stadium buzzed with excitement as the runner prepared for the final sprint. He had trained for years, determined to achieve a record-setting victory. As the whistle blew, he surged forward with unprecedented speed, his determination unwavering. Spectators gasped at his groundbreaking pace, realizing they were witnessing history unfold. He crossed the finish line, marking a landmark achievement in athletics. Cheers erupted as his name was engraved in the books, a historic triumph that would be remembered for generations. Lump sum. A single large payment. One-time payment. Full amount. Entire sum. Upfront cash. The unexpected fortune. After years of hard work, Mia finally received a lump sum from her inheritance. The entire sum sat in her account, more money than she had ever seen. Temptation whispered, should she spend recklessly or plan wisely? She recalled a friend's mistake, losing their fortune by failing to manage their one-time payment. Determined, she sought advice, ensuring the full amount would last. Her dreams of travel and security were now within reach, thanks to the upfront cash. As she signed her investment papers, she knew the decision was hers alone, to turn her fortune into something lasting. Installments. Payments made periodically instead of in one sum. Portions. Divisions. Segments. Payments. The painter's dream. Leo had always dreamed of owning his own art studio, but the price was overwhelming. Instead of paying everything at once, he chose to buy it in installments, breaking the cost into manageable portions. Each month, he carefully budgeted, ensuring every division of his earnings went toward his dream. Slowly but surely, the studio took shape, built in segments over time. With dedication, he completed his payments, proving that small steps mattered. The day he unlocked the door to his fully paid studio, he realized that steady progress, no matter how divided, could turn visions into reality. Splashy. Eye-catching, flashy, or attention-grabbing. Showy. Dazzling. Vibrant. Striking. The grand entrance, the ballroom doors swung open, and all heads turned. Emma made a splashy entrance, her gown shimmering under the lights. The showy fabric trailed behind her, dazzling everyone with its elegance. She moved with grace, her vibrant presence impossible to ignore. Every step she took was striking, commanding the attention of the crowd. As she twirled under the chandelier, she knew she had achieved what she wanted, not just an entrance, but a moment no one would forget. Amounts to add up to a total or result in something. Totals. Equals. Leads to. Sums up. The final calculation. The shopkeeper counted the coins carefully, knowing every penny amounts to his survival. He tallied the bills, ensuring the sum totals correctly. Each sale added value, inching closer to his dream. The day's work equals endless effort, but he persisted. As the sun set, he checked his ledger. It leads to a reality he once only imagined. The months of sacrifice finally sum up to enough for his journey. He smiled, knowing that success isn't instant. It builds, piece by piece. Winnings. Money or prizes earned from success. Earnings. Prize. Jackpot. Rewards. The gambler's fortune. The cards were dealt, and tension filled the air. With each play, Jake inched closer to victory. The moment arrived, he won the final round, securing his winnings. His earnings lay before him, a mountain of gold chips. The crowd cheered as he received his prize, the jackpot he had long dreamed of. Clutching his rewards, he knew fate had favored him tonight. But as he gazed at his fortune, he pondered, was luck enough, or was it time for wisdom? Priciest. The most expensive or costly. Most costly. Most luxurious. Most extravagant. Highest priced. The jewel of kings. In the heart of the grand auction, the priciest diamond was unveiled, dazzling under the chandelier's glow. Collectors gasped at its beauty, knowing it was the most costly gem ever offered. The bidding began, and the price climbed higher. Only the wealthiest could afford such extravagance. Its flawless shine made it the most luxurious treasure in history. As the hammer struck, the highest-priced bid secured the jewel's future. The winner held it triumphantly, knowing that some fortunes weren't just measured in gold, but in the stories they carried. Slight. Small in amount, degree, or importance. Minimal. Faint. Subtle. Negligible. The fading light. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a slight glow lingered in the sky, casting a minimal shimmer across the ocean waves. The air carried a faint breeze, whispering secrets of the departing day. In the distance, the lighthouse blinked with a subtle flicker, guiding lost travelers home. It was a negligible source of light compared to the vast darkness, yet it held significance. Standing at the shore, Ava realized that even the smallest glimmers could lead the way when everything else seemed uncertain. Flounder. To struggle or move clumsily. Stumble. Falter. Waver. Struggle. Lost at sea, as the storm raged, Daniel floundered in the churning waves, his arms flailing for balance. He stumbled against the forceful tide, his strength faltering with every attempt to stay afloat. The boat had vanished into the mist, leaving him to waver between hope and despair. He struggled to find direction, the wind howling in his ears. Just when he thought all was lost, a flicker of light pierced the darkness, a distant lighthouse. Gathering the last of his energy, he fought against the current, determined to reach safety. Court. To seek favor or win approval. Woo. Entice. Pursue. Charm. The royal gamble. In the grand palace, the ambitious knight sought to court the queen's favor. He carefully wooed the royal court with gifts, ensuring each gesture spoke of loyalty. His words were designed to entice her attention, proving his devotion through carefully planned acts. The knight pursued opportunities to showcase his skills, hoping his bravery would outweigh his rivals. Finally, he took his last chance, standing before the queen, radiating confidence. His charm worked. The queen smiled, granting him the honor he had dreamed of. Wear many hats. To have multiple roles or responsibilities. Multitask. Juggle. Versatile. Adaptable. The busy bee. Sophie, the head of a small cafe, wore many hats. She multitasked between cooking, managing staff, and greeting customers. As she juggled orders, her adaptability shone. One moment, she was a chef, the next a bookkeeper. Her versatility kept the cafe buzzing like a well-oiled hive. A tough landscape. A difficult or challenging situation or environment. Harsh. Rugged. Unforgiving. Challenging. Surviving the wilderness, Jake faced a tough landscape in the corporate world. The competition was rugged, the deadlines unforgiving, and the pressure harsh. With determination, he adapted to the challenging terrain, navigating obstacles like a seasoned explorer scaling treacherous peaks. Step down. To resign or withdraw from a position of responsibility. Resign. Retire. Yield. Relinquish. The changing guard. After 20 years of leadership, Mr. Carter decided to step down. He resigned with grace, choosing to relinquish his position for a younger leader. As he yielded the office, his retirement was met with applause, a moment marking the end of an era. Tenure, the period during which someone holds a position. Term, service, appointment, duration. The legacy of leadership. Emily's tenure as principal was marked by innovation and care. During her service, she transformed the school. Her term saw unprecedented growth, and her appointment became legendary. As she reflected on the duration of her leadership, she smiled at the impact she had made, declined to elaborate, to refuse to provide more details or explanation. Withhold, omit, conceal, suppress. The silent witness. When asked about the incident, Jason declined to elaborate. He chose to withhold critical details, suppressing his thoughts. His silence concealed the truth, and as he omitted key facts, the room buzzed with speculation. Prompt. To cause someone to take action quickly. Urge. Provoke. Inspire. Motivate. The urgent decision. The fire alarm prompted Sarah to act fast. She urged her colleagues to evacuate, her words provoking swift movement. Her ability to inspire and motivate them led everyone to safety.be brewing. To be developing or growing, especially in a negative way. Stirring, growing, evolving, forming. Storm on the horizon. Dark clouds signaled that trouble was brewing. The tension stirring between neighbors grew stronger, evolving into heated arguments. Soon, an inevitable conflict was forming. Amateur, a person inexperienced or unskilled in a particular activity. Novice, beginner, newcomer, learner. The young painter, Leo, an amateur artist, struggled with his first painting. As a novice, his strokes were uneven, but the beginner refused to give up. This newcomer, determined to improve, embraced every lesson as a learner. Moment of truth. A crucial time when an important outcome is decided. Turning point. Decision time. Defining moment. Critical juncture. The final game. As the clock ticked down, the moment of truth arrived. The championship hinged on this turning point. Every pass, every move, marked a defining moment, a critical juncture in their victory. Wave of layoffs. A large-scale termination of employees at once. Job cuts. Mass dismissal. Workforce reduction. Downsizing. The shaken office. A wave of layoffs swept through the company, leaving employees uncertain. The sudden job cuts caused distress, as mass dismissal affected entire departments. The workforce reduction marked the harsh reality of corporate downsizing. Cost-cutting measures. Strategies to reduce expenses. Budgeting. Downsizing. Streamlining. Economizing. The frugal factory. Facing financial trouble, the company implemented cost-cutting measures. Budgeting became strict, downsizing unavoidable. With a focus on streamlining processes and economizing resources, they found a way to survive the crisis. Macroeconomic. Related to the overall economy. Global. Financial. Systemic. Market-wide. The market shift. Macroeconomic forces shaped the country's future. A global downturn affected businesses. Financial uncertainty gripped investors. Systemic reforms were required to stabilize the market-wide disruption. Robust. Strong, resilient, and healthy. Sturdy. Durable. Vigorous. Resilient. The unbreakable bridge. Built with robust materials, the bridge stood firm. Its sturdy framework withstood storms, proving durable. Vigorous in design, its resilient structure ensured safety for decades. Over the years. Across a long period of time. Through time. Across decades. Over time. Gradually. The fading photograph. Over the years, the picture on the wall aged. Through time, its colors dulled. Across decades, its frame gathered dust. Over time, memories of the day it was taken gradually softened. Prominent. Well-known or widely recognized. Distinguished. Notable. Influential. Renowned. The respected leader, the prominent scientist led groundbreaking research. Distinguished for his work, his notable achievements influenced the field. His ideas became renowned worldwide. Pandemic high. The peak point during a global disease outbreak. Surge. Peak. Spike. Climax. The silent streets. During the pandemic high, hospitals overflowed. A surge in cases brought fear. The peak tested health workers. As the spike continued, the world waited for the crisis to reach its climax. To slash. To cut down drastically. Reduce. Trim. Cut. Minimize. The budget crisis. To slash expenses, the board reduced unnecessary projects. Trimming costs where possible, they cut travel budgets. Their goal was to minimize financial risks. Reversal of fortune. A drastic change from success to failure or vice versa. Downfall. Shift. Turnaround. Transformation. The unexpected turn, his sudden wealth was a true reversal of fortune. The downfall of his previous employer had led to his shift into leadership. A dramatic turnaround brought transformation to his life. High-flying. Very successful or ambitious. Thriving. Prosperous. Soaring. Accomplished. The ambitious entrepreneur, the high-flying CEO expanded his empire. Thriving in business, his prosperous ideas led to soaring profits. His company remained accomplished in global markets. Lavish. Rich, luxurious, or extravagant. Opulent. Grand. Extravagant. Luxurious. The royal ball, the palace hosted a lavish celebration. Opulent chandeliers illuminated the grand halls. The extravagant feast was a symbol of luxurious indulgence. Shower someone with. To give generously in large amounts. Lavish. Bestow. Pour. Flood. A mother's love. On her birthday, Emma's mother showered her with affection. She lavished her with gifts and bestowed heartfelt words. Every hug poured warmth into Emma's heart, flooding her with joy. Enviable. Something highly desirable or worthy of envy. Covetable. Admirable. Desirable. Impressive. The dream job. Mark landed an enviable position at a top company. His covetable role came with admirable benefits. It was a desirable opportunity that left others in awe of his impressive career climb. Perk. An advantage or benefit. Bonus. Benefit. Privilege. Advantage. The office perks. Mia loved her job, especially the perks. Free lunches were a bonus, flexible hours a great benefit. Every privilege made work enjoyable, and the advantage of remote days felt like luxury. Scrutiny. Close and critical examination. Inspection. Examination. Review. Analysis. Under the microscope, the scientist's discovery was under scrutiny. Experts conducted a thorough inspection, followed by an extensive examination. Every review and analysis would determine its validity. Dent. A noticeable damage or reduction. Nick. Scratch. Deformity. Blemish. The damaged shield. The knight's armor bore a deep dent from battle. Every nick told a story, each scratch a testament to war. His once perfect shield carried deformities, a blemish of countless fights. Revenue. The total income generated by a business. Earnings. Profit. Income. Turnover. The flourishing store. The small bakery's revenue soared as more customers walked in. Daily earnings increased, leading to growing profits. With consistent income and a strong turnover, the business thrived in the neighborhood. Soar. To rise or increase rapidly. Surge. Skyrocket. Ascend. Escalate. The rising star. Liam watched his career soar overnight. His popularity surged, his reputation skyrocketed. As he continued to ascend in his industry, his success escalated beyond expectations. Trillion. A number equal to 1,000,000 million. Billion. Gigantic. Enormous. Immense. The wealthy empire. The tech giant's valuation crossed $1 trillion. Its billion-dollar milestones had led to gigantic expansions. With an enormous global influence, its immense success shaped the industry. Grapple with. To struggle or deal with a difficult situation. Struggle. Wrestle. Tackle. Confront. The heavy decision. Jake had to grapple with a tough choice. He struggled to make the right call, wrestling with his emotions. Trying to tackle the dilemma, he finally confronted his fears head-on. play out, to unfold or happen over time, develop, unfold, progress, occur. The championship battle, the intense match continued to play out, the strategies developing with each move. As events unfolded, the tension progressed. The final victory was about to occur. Sizzle, to make a hissing sound, often due to heat. Crackle, fizz, spark, burn. The fiery grill. As the steak hit the hot pan, it began to sizzle. The crackling sound filled the kitchen, the oil fizzing around the edges. Sparks of heat rose, the meat burning to perfection. Abate, to lessen or decrease in intensity. Subside, diminish, ebb, reduce. The passing storm, the fierce winds began to abate, their strength subsiding. The rain diminished as the floodwaters ebbed. Finally, the chaos reduced to a gentle drizzle. Turnover, the rate at which employees or sales change. Rotation, exchange, revenue, transition. The busy bakery. With high turnover, the bakery rotated staff frequently. The constant exchange kept the workflow dynamic. Revenue flowed steadily, ensuring a smooth business transition. Frenzied, wildly excited or uncontrolled. Hectic, chaotic, manic, hyperactive. The marketplace rush. The frenzied shoppers filled the bazaar, their movements hectic. The chaotic energy turned every stall into a battlefield. Manic voices rose, the hyperactive bidding never ceasing. Steep, rising or falling sharply. Sharp, sudden, extreme, drastic. The mountain climb, the steep trail challenged every climber. Each sharp incline demanded effort, the sudden changes testing endurance. The extreme conditions made every step a drastic feat drive up. To increase or raise something quickly. Boost, inflate, raise, elevate. The soaring prices, the demand for rare antiques drove up their prices. Collectors boosted bids, inflating costs beyond expectations. Each sale raised the value, elevating the items to luxury status. Sweeten the deal, to make an offer more attractive. Enhance, improve, strengthen, amplify. The negotiation game. To close the business contract, Leo sweetened the deal. He enhanced the benefits, improving the terms. The offer was strengthened with incentives, amplifying its appeal to investors. Through the roof, to increase dramatically. Skyrocket, surge, escalate, explode. The viral sensation. The singer's popularity went through the roof. Her song skyrocketed in streams, causing a surge in followers. As fame escalated, excitement exploded in the music industry. Die down, to reduce or fade gradually. Subside, diminish, ease, lessen. The fading storm. The heavy winds began to die down, their force subsiding. The rain diminished into a drizzle, easing its intensity. The chaos lessened, leaving behind a peaceful evening. Freeze, to become motionless or turn into ice. Halt, solidify, stop, stiffen. The frozen lake. As winter arrived, the lake froze overnight. The water solidified, turning into a crystal sheet. Every movement halted, the surface stiffened under the weight of the snow. Altogether, completely or entirely. Wholly, fully, totally, entirely. The silent village. The festival was altogether canceled due to the storm. The streets were wholly deserted, the houses fully shut. The town felt totally abandoned, entirely consumed by eerie silence. The tables are turning. A situation is changing significantly. Shift, reverse, transform, flip. The unexpected victory. The losing team saw the tables turning. The game began to shift, their fate reversing. As confidence transformed their play, the match flipped in their favor. Snarled, twisted, tangled, or complicated. Knotted, tangled, twisted, entangled. The endless wires. The electrician faced a snarled mess of cables. The wires were knotted beyond recognition, tangled in chaos. As he worked, he untwisted each strand, freeing them from their entangled prison. Closure. The act of bringing something to an end. Conclusion. Resolution. Finality. Ending. The last goodbye. After years of conflict, they found closure. The bitter fights reached a conclusion. The past wounds met resolution. As they accepted finality, their painful journey met its ending. Strenuous, requiring great effort or energy. Demanding, exhausting, tough, rigorous. The mountain trek, the climb was strenuous, each step demanding strength. The hikers pushed through exhausting trails, their journey tough. The rigorous challenge tested their endurance, but they conquered the peak. Commute. The regular travel between home and work. Travel. Journey. Trip. Transit. The daily rush. Every morning, Mia embarked on her commute. Her travel through crowded streets felt like a never-ending journey. The trip took time, yet the routine transit never changed. Westbound. Moving in the direction of the west. Westward. Towards west. Western-bound. Going west. Chasing the sunset. The train sped westbound, chasing the golden horizon. Westward winds whispered through open windows, urging travelers towards west. The western-bound ride promised adventure, going west into the unknown. Spokesperson. A person who represents an organization or group. Representative. Speaker. Voice. Advocate. The voice of change. The spokesperson stood before cameras, confident in his words. As a representative, he carried the message with pride. A skilled speaker, his voice echoed determination, an advocate for justice. Converted. Changed into a different form or use. Transformed. Altered. Modified. Adapted. The old library. The abandoned building was converted into a cafe. Once a library, it transformed into a lively space. Its structure was altered, shelves modified to fit cozy seating. The community adapted to its new charm. Hinge. A crucial point or connection. Pivot. Anchor. Link. Turning point. The door to possibilities. The heavy door moved on its sturdy hinge. A pivot between two worlds, it stood as an anchor of entry. The link between past and future, it marked a turning point in new beginnings. Conundrum. A difficult problem or puzzle. Dilemma. Predicament. Enigma. Mystery. The lost key. Tom faced a conundrum. His house keys had vanished. The dilemma left him stranded, a true predicament in the rain. The enigma puzzled him as he retraced his steps, trying to solve the mystery. Nationwide. Affecting or occurring across the country. Countrywide. National. Widespread. Universal. The celebration wave. The festival spread nationwide. Countrywide cheers filled the air, the national excitement contagious. With widespread joy, the event became a universal tradition. RSVP. To confirm attendance at an event. Confirm. Respond. Reply. Register. The wedding invitation. The elegant card requested guests to RSVP. Jane confirmed her attendance, responding with joy. Her reply sealed the deal, registering her place at the grand celebration. Hybrid work. A combination of remote and office work. Blended. Mixed. Flexible. Combined. The new normal. David thrived in his hybrid work setup. The blended routine balanced home and office, a mixed way of working. With flexible schedules, the combined system reshaped productivity. Bottom line, the most essential or fundamental point. Core, key, essence, main point. The final decision. After hours of debate, the bottom line was clear. The core issue needed resolution. The key argument was undeniable. The essence of the discussion led to one main point. Change was inevitable. Surge. A sudden and powerful increase. Rise. Spike. Escalation. Boom. The unexpected wave, the demand for electric cars surged overnight. A sharp rise in purchases caused a spike in production. This escalation overwhelmed manufacturers, leading to an economic boom. Lurch. A sudden, unsteady movement. Jolt. Stagger. Sway. Jerk. The rocky road. The old bus lurched forward as it hit a pothole. The jolt sent passengers staggering, their bodies swaying with emotion. Every unexpected jerk made the ride thrilling yet unstable. RTO returned to office. The shift back to working in offices after remote work. Office return. Work resumption. In-person work. Corporate comeback. The office revival. After years of remote work, the company announced RTO. The office return reignited teamwork, marking the work resumption phase. In-person work improved collaboration, leading to a full corporate comeback. Scale back. To reduce or decrease in size or extent. Cut down. Minimize. Shrink. Reduce. The leaner business. Due to financial struggles, the firm had to scale back operations. They cut down unnecessary departments, minimized expenses, and shrank investments. This decision helped reduce losses and stabilize growth. Bulk. A large quantity or amount. Mass. Volume. Size. Load. The massive shipment. The warehouse received a bulk order of supplies. The mass delivery filled every shelf, increasing the stock volume. Its enormous size required careful management to handle the load efficiently. Banner. Light, playful, and witty conversation. Chatter. Teasing. Jest. Ribbing. The cafe chats, the friends engaged in lively banter over coffee. Their chatter filled the air, jokes flying back and forth. Every teasing remark was met with a playful jest, their laughter echoing through friendly ribbing. Pants that don't button. Tight-fitting trousers that no longer close. Ill-fitting. Snug. Unfastened. Stiff. The clothing mishap. Sarah pulled on her favorite jeans only to realize they were now pants that don't button. The ill-fitting waist refused to close, snug against her body. She tried adjusting, but the unfastened button wouldn't budge. They felt stiff as she sighed at the reality of needing new clothes. Gospel. A truth or principle believed with deep conviction. Doctrine. Teaching. Belief. Message. The preacher's words. The pastor spoke the gospel with passion, spreading an important doctrine. His teachings resonated with the crowd, a belief that shaped their lives. The powerful message gave them hope and guidance. Gibberish. Nonsensical or meaningless speech. Babble. Nonsense. Rambling. Mumbo-jumbo. The confused parrot. The bird squawked gibberish, words jumbled in senseless babble. It mimicked human speech, yet only nonsense spilled out. The rambling chatter confused everyone, sounding like mumbo-jumbo to unsuspecting ears. Daunting. Intimidating or difficult to overcome. Overwhelming. Intense. Challenging. Frightening. The towering mountain. The climb looked daunting, the steep slope overwhelming. Every step was intense, testing endurance. The challenging journey pushed limits, its frightening height a test of courage. Set in. To begin and become established. begin, establish, take hold, commence. The arrival of winter. As December arrived, the cold set in. The frost began to form, winter establishing its icy grip. Snowflakes took hold of the landscape as the season commenced in full swing. Outweigh. To be more significant or valuable than. Surpass. Excel. Dominate. Overcome. The tough choice. Lisa weighed the risks, but the benefits outweighed them. Her dreams surpassed her fears, her courage excelled over doubts. As ambition dominated hesitation, she overcame her uncertainty. Sci-fi, a genre focusing on futuristic concepts. Science fiction, futuristic. Space fiction, speculative. The Voyage to Mars, the sci-fi novel transported readers to Mars. Futuristic spaceships soared through time, space fiction bringing galaxies to life. The speculative adventure sparked imaginations beyond reality. Downsides, disadvantages or negative aspects. Drawbacks, weaknesses, pitfalls, limitations. The hidden costs. The new job seemed perfect, but its downsides soon emerged. The drawbacks included long hours, weaknesses in management, and workplace pitfalls. Despite its limitations, it still offered experience. Wary, careful or cautious due to possible danger. Cautious, alert, hesitant, watchful. The suspicious stranger, Mia stayed wary of the man following her. She remained cautious, keeping alert at every step. Her hesitant movements showed fear, yet her watchful eyes ensured her safety. Reinstated, reinstatement. Restored to a former position or condition. Restored, recovered, reestablished, renewed. The return of the king. After years of exile, the rightful king was reinstated, his rule recovered, his throne reestablished, and his power renewed. As he walked through the castle gates, the people cheered, celebrating the justice that had finally prevailed. Wide-ranging, covering a large area or diverse topics. Extensive, expansive, comprehensive, far-reaching. A journey across worlds. Maya's curiosity led her on a wide-ranging adventure. She explored extensive forests, expansive seas, comprehensive histories, and far-reaching discoveries that shaped her understanding of life. Proved, demonstrated to be true, confirmed, verified, established, validated. The scientist's breakthrough. Dr. Ray's research finally proved his theory. The results were confirmed, the findings verified, the ideas established, and his work validated in the scientific community, earning him recognition. At large, free, not caught or contained, unrestrained, unbound, uncontrolled, roaming. The elusive phantom, the thief remained at large, his movements unrestrained, his actions unbound, his schemes uncontrolled, and his whereabouts always roaming beyond the authorities' reach. Stands to. Likely to experience or gain. Expected to. Bound to. Destined to. Predicted to. The champion's fate. With all his training, Leo stands to win the championship. He is expected to triumph, bound to succeed, destined to rise, and predicted to leave his rivals in awe. Horizon. The line where the earth and sky meet. Future possibilities. Skyline. Boundary. Scope. Prospect. Beyond the horizon. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Mia saw the endless skyline stretching ahead. She knew this was only the boundary of what she could achieve. Her dreams had no scope, just infinite prospects waiting to be explored. Ousted. Removed from power or a position. Expelled. Overthrown. Displaced. Banished. The fallen tyrant, the cruel ruler, was ousted from his throne. Expelled by his people, overthrown by rebels, displaced from his palace, and banished into the wilderness. he faded into obscurity as a new era of justice began. Disinformation/misinformation. False or misleading information spread deliberately or unintentionally. Deception. Falsehood. Misrepresentation. Fabrication. The web of lies. The town was filled with disinformation, spreading like wildfire. One person's deception led to a chain of falsehoods, causing widespread misrepresentation of the truth. In the end, the entire story was a fabrication, dividing the town. Lucrative. Producing a lot of profit or financial gain. Profitable. Rewarding. Flourishing. Beneficial. The lucrative deal. Sam discovered a lucrative investment opportunity. It proved profitable beyond expectations, rewarding his patience and allowing his business to flourish. It was the most beneficial decision he had ever made. Majors. Main subjects of study or important fields. Specializations. Disciplines. Areas. Domains. Choosing the right major. Lily struggled to pick a major for college. She considered various specializations, explored different disciplines, weighed her interest in multiple areas, and finally decided on a domain that truly excited her. Out-earn. To make more money than someone else. Surpass. Exceed. Outperform. Outclass. The rising star, Alex, worked hard to out-earn his competitors. His dedication helped him surpass his peers, exceed expectations, outperform in every challenge, and ultimately outclass those who once doubted his potential. Elite. The best or most powerful group. Exclusive. Distinguished. Superior. Premier. The elite warriors. The kingdom's elite soldiers were chosen through rigorous tests. Each warrior was exclusive in skill, distinguished in bravery, superior in tactics, and a premier force in battle. Peers. People of the same age, status, or abilities. Equals. Colleagues. Companions. Counterparts. The power of peers. Mia relied on her peers to succeed. Her equals pushed her forward, her colleagues supported her ideas, her companions stood beside her, and her counterparts challenged her to grow. Year-long. Lasting for an entire year. Annual. Continuous. Ongoing. Prolonged. A year-long adventure. Jake embarked on a year-long journey around the world. His annual commitment led to continuous learning, ongoing experiences, and a prolonged sense of wonder. Poised. Ready, calm, and balanced. Prepared. Composed. Steady. Graceful. The poised performer. On stage, Lily stood poised, ready to shine. She was prepared for her performance, composed in her movements, steady in her rhythm, and graceful in every step. Journeyman. A skilled worker or professional who has experience but is not yet a master. Craftsman. Artisan. Tradesman. Technician. The journeyman's quest. Ethan, a skilled journeyman, traveled across towns honing his craft. Every day, the craftsman shaped wood, the artisan perfected intricate designs, the tradesman built sturdy walls, and the technician refined his expertise, determined to become a master. Propel. To push or drive something forward. Accelerate. Launch. Boost. Thrust. Propel to success. The rocket was propelled into space with immense force. The engines accelerated its ascent. The fiery burst launched it beyond the clouds. The boosters boosted its velocity, and the final thrust pushed it past the atmosphere. Prestigious. Highly respected and admired. Distinguished. Renowned. Esteemed. Prominent. A prestigious honor. Sophia was accepted into a prestigious university, known for its distinguished scholars, renowned programs, esteemed professors, and prominent research. She felt proud to be part of such excellence. Overtime. Extra time work beyond regular hours. Extended hours. additional shifts, extra workload, late hours, burning the midnight oil, working overtime. Jake took on extended hours, handled additional shifts, tackled an extra workload, and endured many late hours to meet the deadline, exhausted but determined. Shedding, to remove or discard something. Sloughing, discarding. Shearing, stripping. The autumn transformation. The trees were shedding their leaves as autumn arrived. The golden foliage was sloughing off. The old leaves were discarded. The bark underwent shearing, and nature itself was stripping away the old to make way for new beginnings. Plummet, to fall or drop suddenly and steeply. Drop, tumble, dive, descend. The falling star. As the skydiver leapt from the plane, he felt himself plummet toward the earth. The wind made him drop rapidly. His body tumbled through the air. His heart raced as he dived, and the world below seemed to descend faster than ever. Bleak, cold, gloomy, hopeless, desolate, dreary, grim, stark. A bleak winter. The landscape was bleak, covered in frost. The fields were desolate, the skies dreary, and the villagers faced a grim struggle to survive in the stark silence of the coldest season. Stir, to mix, move, or cause emotion. Agitate, rouse, arouse, disturb. The stirring speech. The leader's words began to stir emotions in the crowd. His passion agitated their hearts, roused their spirits, aroused their sense of justice, and disturbed the silence as cheers erupted. Angst, deep anxiety or dread. Distress, anxiety, worry, unease. The silent angst. As Lily waited for her exam results, she felt angst creeping in. Her distress grew, her anxiety deepened, her worry mounted, and an unsettling unease hung over her like a storm cloud. Uncertainty, doubt or lack of clarity. Doubt, ambiguity, hesitation, indecision. The road of uncertainty. Standing at the crossroads, Jake felt overwhelmed by uncertainty. His doubt clouded his judgment, the ambiguity of his choices frightened him, his hesitation held him back, and his indecision made the path ahead seem endless. Rank and file. The ordinary members of an organization or society. Workforce. Commoners. Troops. Grassroots. The strength of the rank and file. The revolution wasn't led by kings or nobles, but by the rank and file. The workforce marched, the commoners raised their voices, the troops held the line, and the grassroots movement changed history forever. Heavyweight. A person of great influence or importance. Titan. Giant. Powerhouse. Leader. The heavyweight champion. In the business world, Mr. Carter was a true heavyweight. A titan in his industry, a giant in innovation, a powerhouse of knowledge, and a respected leader among his peers. Complacent. Satisfied with oneself, often unaware of dangers. Overconfident. Careless. Unconcerned. Self-satisfied. The fall of the complacent king. The king grew complacent, ignoring his advisors. His overconfidence blinded him. His carelessness weakened his rule. His unconcerned attitude angered his people, and his self-satisfied nature led to his downfall. Skyrocket. To increase rapidly and dramatically. Surge. Soar. Escalate. Boost. The skyrocketing fortune. After years of struggle, Leo's business began to skyrocket. Profits surged, sales soared, demand escalated, and his success received an incredible boost overnight. Overriding. More important than anything else. Supreme. Predominant. Dominant. Principle. The overriding truth. No matter how much deception surrounded the case, the overriding fact remained. Justice must prevail. The supreme law guided the judges. The predominant evidence spoke. The dominant truth surfaced, and the principal verdict was delivered. undisclosed, not revealed or made known, hidden, secret, confidential, concealed. The undisclosed truth. The ancient scroll contained undisclosed knowledge. Buried deep within a temple, its hidden words held power. The secret kept for centuries, the confidential message was finally unveiled, revealing the long-concealed prophecy. Curveball. An unexpected challenge or surprise. Twist. Shock. Disruption. Setback. Life's curveball. Just when he thought everything was smooth, life threw a curveball at Jake. A sudden twist in fate, a shock he never expected, a disruption to his plans, and a major setback forcing him to rethink everything. Fueling verb. Supplying energy or encouragement. Driving. Powering. Sustaining. Boosting. Fueling the dream. Her passion was fueling her success. The desire driving her forward. Ambition powering each step. Determination sustaining her motivation. And hard work boosting her journey to greatness. Steep. Rising or falling sharply. Abrupt. Sharp. Sudden. Intense. The steep climb, the mountain trail was steep, testing every muscle. The abrupt incline made breathing tough, the sharp edges cut through the landscape, the sudden rise seemed endless, and the intense journey pushed her limits. Severance. Separation or ending. Detachment. Break. Disconnection. Split. The severance of ties, the once close friendship faced severance. The gradual detachment, painful break, emotional disconnection, and final split left them as strangers. Allegedly. According to claims or reports without proof. Supposedly. Reportedly. Purportedly. Ostensibly. The alleged crime. The thief was allegedly spotted near the bank. He was supposedly carrying stolen goods, reportedly running from the scene, purportedly hiding in the shadows, and ostensibly unaware that the police were closing in. Fraudster/perpetrator. A person or action that involves deception. Deceiver. Swindler. Imposter. Criminal. The master fraudster. The fraudster had tricked countless victims. A deceiver in disguise, a swindler skilled in lies, an imposter who gained trust easily, and a criminal always evading capture. Legal filing. Official documents submitted in legal matters. Lawsuit. Petition. Complaint. Case. The crucial legal filing. The lawyer prepared the legal filing, ensuring every detail was correct. The lawsuit against the corporation was airtight. The petition had signatures from many. The complaint outlined the wrongdoing, and the case was strong enough to win in court. Commission. A group tasked with responsibility or payment for services. Committee. Assignment. Fee. Task force. The commission's verdict. The commission reviewed the evidence carefully. The committee debated the facts. The assignment of roles was clear, the fee for consulting was settled, and the task force delivered its final decision. Behemoth. Something enormous and powerful. Giant. Titan. Colossus. Mammoth. The behemoth of the seas, the ship was a true behemoth, cutting through the ocean with force. A giant of engineering, a titan among vessels, a colossus of steel, and a mammoth in size, it dominated the waters. Retailing. The activity of selling goods directly to consumers. Merchandising. Trade. Commerce. Selling. The art of retailing. Sarah mastered retailing, understanding the secrets of merchandising. Her store flourished as she perfected trade, adapted to evolving commerce, and thrived in the world of selling, building strong connections with customers. Third party. A person or entity involved in a transaction but not directly part of the main agreement. Mediator. Outsider. Arbitrator. Agent. The third-party solution. When negotiations stalled, a third party stepped in to help. acting as a mediator, guiding discussions like an outsider, making fair decisions as an arbitrator, and ensuring smooth communication as an agent of resolution. Digitized economy. An economy driven by technology and digital transactions. Digital market. Tech-driven trade. Online commerce. E-commerce. Rise of the digitized economy. With businesses shifting to a digitized economy, traditional shops embraced the digital market. Tech-driven trade grew rapidly, online commerce thrived, and e-commerce became the new standard, changing the way people buy and sell. On the heels of, immediately following or as a result of, right after, shortly after, following closely, soon after. On the heels of victory, on the heels of his championship win, Jason was flooded with sponsorship offers. Right after his triumph, brands lined up. Shortly after, his fame grew. Following closely, new opportunities arose. Soon after, his career skyrocketed. Bring someone up to speed. To update someone with current information. Inform. Brief. Update. Notify. Bringing her up to speed. Arriving late to the meeting, Mia needed someone to bring her up to speed. Her colleague informed her of recent decisions, briefed her on strategies, updated her on changes, and notified her about upcoming tasks that go a step further. To take additional action beyond what is required. Advance. Push forward. Elevate. Extend. Going a step further. Sam didn't stop at success. He chose to go a step further. He advanced his skills, pushed forward with new ideas, elevated his expertise, and extended his impact in the industry. Heat up. To increase in intensity or excitement. Intensify. Escalate. Amplify. Surge. The competition heats up. As the final match approached, the rivalry began to heat up. Tensions intensified. Emotions escalated, strategies amplified, and excitement surged among the fans. Quell. To suppress or put an end to something. Calm. Subdue. Stifle. Suppress. Quelling the chaos. The leader stepped in to quell the rising panic. His words calmed the crowd. His authority subdued unrest. His wisdom stifled anger, and his presence suppressed further conflict. Global spending. The total amount of money spent worldwide. International expenses. Worldwide expenditure. Global investment. Economic consumption. The rise of global spending. As technology expanded, global spending increased rapidly. International expenses climbed. Worldwide expenditure grew. Global investment strengthened, and economic consumption shaped new financial trends, widespread, covering a large area or affecting many people. Extensive, far-reaching, universal, prevalent, widespread influence. The new trend became widespread, influencing industries everywhere. Its impact was extensive, its reach far-reaching, its appeal universal, and its effects prevalent across nations. Give rise to cause something to happen, lead to, trigger, produce, generate, giving rise to change. The new policy gave rise to unexpected consequences. It led to public debate, triggered reforms, produced shifts in society, and generated waves of transformation. Cast someone as something. To portray or assign a role. Depict. Present. Portray. Label. Cast as the hero. Though an ordinary villager, Liam was cast as the kingdom's savior. The elders depicted him as their champion. The people presented him as a warrior. Historians portrayed him as legendary, and rulers labeled him the chosen protector. Take on someone. To challenge or compete against someone. Face. Confront. Battle. Oppose. Taking on the champion. Knowing the odds. Jake bravely chose to take on the undefeated fighter. He faced his opponent with determination, confronted his fears, battled fiercely, and opposed every blow with resilience. Step aside. To withdraw or make room for someone else. Resign. Yield. Withdraw. Relinquish. Stepping aside for change. The old leader knew it was time to step aside. He resigned with dignity, yielded to fresh leadership, withdrew from power gracefully, and relinquished his role for a new era to begin. Enmity. Deep hostility or hatred. Animosity. Rivalry. Bitterness. Antagonism. The long-standing enmity. For years, two kingdoms lived in enmity. Their leaders harbored animosity. Warriors thrived on rivalry. People suffered from bitterness, and decades of antagonism kept them divided, until peace was brokered. Figure. A person or representation. Persona. Character. Image. Presence. The mysterious figure, a shadowy figure, stood at the gates. His persona was unknown, his character unreadable, his image unsettling, and his presence impossible to ignore. Opponent. A rival or competitor in a contest. Rival. Adversary. Challenger. Competitor. Facing the fierce opponent, the warrior stood before his opponent, ready to fight. His rival glared, his adversary clenched his fists, the challenger prepared his sword, and the competitor sought victory. Only one would emerge victorious. Hurl. To throw with great force. Toss. Fling. Propel. Launch. Hurling to victory. The athlete hurled the javelin with all his strength. He tossed it into the sky, flung it past his competitors, propelled it beyond expectations, and launched his career with a record-breaking throw. Invective. Harsh or insulting language. Abuse. Criticism. Insult. Condemnation. The invective of the crowd. The king's unjust decisions led to invective from the people. They hurled abuse at him. Their criticism was relentless. Every insult echoed through the palace, and their condemnation shook the throne. Retribution. Punishment or revenge for wrongdoing. Revenge. Justice. Payback. Penalty. Retribution of the fallen. Betrayed by his friend, Marcus sought retribution. His heart burned for revenge, but he knew true justice was wiser. As fate delivered payback, the penalty was inevitable, striking, extremely noticeable or impressive, stunning, bold, eye-catching, remarkable. The striking beauty of the sunset. The sky turned striking shades of red and gold. It was truly stunning, its colors bold, the sight eye-catching, and the brilliance remarkable, leaving all in awe. Shakiness. Lack of stability or confidence. Instability. Unsteadiness. Trembling. Wobbling. The shaky bridge. As Mia walked across the old rope bridge, she felt its shakiness beneath her feet. The instability made her heart race. The unsteadiness tested her balance. Her hands were trembling, and each step felt like she was wobbling on the edge of danger. Float. To stay on the surface without sinking. Glide. Drift. Hover. Suspend. Floating on air, the kite floated effortlessly in the sky. It seemed to glide with the wind, drift through the clouds, hover above the treetops, and remain suspended in the endless blue. Tariffs. Taxes on imported or exported goods. Duties. Levies. Fees. Trade restrictions. The weight of tariffs. The country imposed tariffs on luxury items, making them expensive. The duties burdened traders. The levies cut profits. The fees limited choices, and strict trade restrictions changed the market entirely. Pharmaceuticals. medicines and drugs used in healthcare, medications, drugs, remedies, prescriptions. The miracle of pharmaceuticals. After years of research, scientists developed pharmaceuticals that saved lives. These medications relieved pain, drugs cured illnesses, remedies restored health, and doctors prescribed life-changing prescriptions to millions. Trump ties, connections or affiliations with Donald Trump. Associations, links, relationships, bonds. Unraveling the Trump ties. The journalist investigated Trump ties in the business world. His findings revealed hidden associations, secret links, personal relationships, and political bonds that shaped key decisions. Spare, to give something extra or avoid harm. Save, exempt, forego, relieve. The king's mercy. The ruler chose to spare the prisoner. He decided to save him from punishment, exempt him from the sentence, forego vengeance, and relieve his people of further suffering. Leverage, to use something to gain an advantage. Utilize, exploit, capitalize, harness. Leverage for victory. In the battle of wits, Leo used his knowledge as leverage. He utilized his opponent's weaknesses, exploited their mistakes, capitalized on his strengths, and harnessed every opportunity to emerge victorious. Fend off, to defend against or resist something. Repel, deflect, counter, withstand. Fending off the attack, the knight had to fend off the approaching enemy. With skill, he repelled their strikes, deflected their swords, countered their advances, and withstood the relentless assault. Globe spanning, extending across the world. Worldwide, global, international, all-encompassing. A globe-spanning mission. The explorer's journey was globe-spanning, reaching distant lands. His adventure was worldwide. His discoveries were global, his travels international, and his quest all-encompassing. Titan, a person or thing of great strength and power. Giant, colossus, powerhouse, behemoth, the titan of industry. William had built a business empire, a true titan of success. His company was a giant, his influence a colossus, his operations a powerhouse, and his reputation a behemoth in the corporate world. Scramble, to move or act quickly in a disorganized way. Rush, hustle, scurry, fumble. The scramble for safety. As the storm approached, villagers scrambled to take cover. They rushed to find shelter, hustled through crowded streets, scurried indoors, and fumbled with locks, hoping to escape the chaos. Secure, to obtain or make something safe. Lock, protect, safeguard, ensure. Securing the treasure. The knight had to secure the ancient relic. He locked it inside a vault, protected it with guards, safeguarded it from thieves, and ensured its safety for generations to come. Misrepresented, presented in a false or misleading way. Distorted, twisted, misconstrued, misinterpreted. The misrepresented truth. The artist's words were misrepresented in the tabloids. His message was distorted, his intentions twisted, his actions misconstrued, and his reputation misinterpreted by the public. Competitive edge, an advantage over others. Superiority, lead, advantage, upper hand. Gaining the competitive edge, the athlete trained harder to gain a competitive edge. His superiority in technique set him apart. His lead in performance grew. His advantage over rivals became clear, and he held the upper hand in the final match. Backfire, to have an unintended negative result. Fail, rebound, boomerang, backlash. The plan that backfired. Sam's clever scheme backfired, leaving him worse off. Instead of success, it failed spectacularly, rebounded against him, boomeranged unexpectedly, and caused a backlash he never saw coming. Fishy, suspicious or questionable, dubious, shady, sketchy, untrustworthy. The fishy deal. Jake knew something was fishy about the transaction. The seller's explanation was dubious, the paperwork looked shady, the terms felt sketchy, and the entire situation seemed untrustworthy, a trap waiting to spring. Embellish, to exaggerate or make something more attractive. Exaggerate, adorn, enhance, overstate. Embellishing the tale. As Mark told the story, he couldn't help but embellish it. He exaggerated the hero's bravery, adorned the setting with rich details, enhanced the suspense, and overstated the danger, making his audience hang onto every word. Navigate, to find one's way or direct a course. Steer, maneuver, chart, guide. Navigating the storm, the captain had to navigate through rough waters. He carefully steered the ship, maneuvered between towering waves, charted a safe path, and guided his crew toward the distant shore. Breach of trust, violation of confidence or reliability. Betrayal, deception, fraud, dishonesty, the breach of trust. Anna had placed her confidence in her friend, but his actions led to a breach of trust. His betrayal cut deep, his deception shattered their bond, his fraud ruined their partnership, and his dishonesty ensured they would never speak again. Yield, to give way or produce something. Surrender, relinquish, generate, provide. Yielding to fate. As the battle raged, the defeated soldiers had to yield. Their leader chose to surrender. They relinquished their weapons, yet their struggle generated respect and provided the chance for peace. Slash, to cut violently or reduce significantly. Cut, reduce, decrease, trim. The warriors slash. With one swift move, the swordsman slashed through the enemy's defenses. His blade cut deep. The forces were reduced, their strength decreased, and their numbers were trimmed in seconds. Baton, a short stick used for leadership or relay races. Rod, staff, wand, scepter. Passing the baton. As the relay runner approached, he handed the baton to his teammate. The smooth handoff ensured the rod remained steady, the staff moved swiftly, the wand guided the race, and the scepter of victory was in reach. Vet, to carefully examine or approve. Screen, investigate, assess, evaluate. The vetting process. The company needed to vet new candidates. HR screened applications. Experts investigated backgrounds. Managers assessed skills, and leaders evaluated each decision carefully. Up and down the ticket. Across all candidates in an election. Entire ballot. Full slate. Complete lineup. Whole roster. Voting up and down the ticket. Citizens cast their votes up and down the ticket, selecting leaders at every level. They carefully reviewed the entire ballot, considered the full slate, chose from the complete lineup, and supported the whole roster of representatives. Endorse, to support or approve. Recommend, advocate, back, promote. Endorsing the champion. The coach chose to endorse his star player. He recommended him for the national team, advocated for his talent, backed his abilities, and promoted him as a future legend. Press, to push or apply pressure. Urge, squeeze, force, compel. Pressing forward. Despite challenges, Lily continued to press toward success. She urged herself to keep going, squeezed every ounce of effort, forced past obstacles, and compelled her team to never give up. at stake, in danger or at risk, on the line, in jeopardy, at risk, hanging. The treasure at stake, the ancient scroll was at stake, sought by thieves. The kingdom's future was on the line, the safety of relics in jeopardy, history itself at risk, and survival hanging by a thread. Plunder, to steal goods violently. Loot, pillage, rob, ransack, plundering the village. The invaders plundered everything of value. They looted homes, pillaged supplies, robbed defenseless people, and ransacked ancient ruins for riches. Like taking candy from a baby. Something very easy, effortless, simple, painless, undemanding. A victory too easy. Winning the match was like taking candy from a baby. His triumph was effortless, the challenge simple, success painless, and the task undemanding, almost unfair to his opponent. Hanging by a thread, in great danger or at risk of failure. On the brink, in peril, at the edge, on the verge. Hanging by a thread, the fragile rope bridge was hanging by a thread, swaying dangerously. The travelers were on the brink of falling, their fate in peril, the bridge itself at the edge of collapse, and their hopes on the verge of disaster. Wrap up, to finish or complete something. Conclude, finalize, complete, close. Wrapping up the mission, as the final piece of evidence was found, the detective wrapped up the case. The investigation concluded, the report was finalized, the mystery completed, and the case closed forever. Have a corner on something. To dominate or control a market or area. Monopolize, dominate, control, hold. A corner on the market. The tech company had a corner on innovation, leading the industry. They monopolized new developments, dominated software sales, controlled cutting-edge technology, and held their position at the top. Cover a lot of territory. To deal with many aspects or explore a vast area. Expand, traverse, widen, explore. Covering a lot of territory. The journalist covered a lot of territory in his report. He expanded his research, traversed different perspectives, widened his scope of investigation, and explored every angle of the story. Stranded, left without the ability to move or escape. Abandoned, marooned, isolated, trapped, stranded on the island. As the boat drifted away, Leo realized he was stranded on the deserted shore. He felt abandoned by fate, marooned in silence, isolated with no help, and completely trapped, staring at the endless ocean. Binge. To consume excessively in a short period. Overindulge. Gorge. Devour. Feast. The binge-watching weekend, Lucy decided to binge her favorite show. She overindulged in episodes, gorged on popcorn, devoured every twist, and treated herself to a cinematic feast like never before. Striking, extremely noticeable or impressive, stunning, bold, eye-catching, remarkable. The striking beauty of the mountains, the towering peaks were striking in the morning light. Their stunning reflection in the lake mesmerized hikers. Their bold colors stood in contrast. Their presence was eye-catching, and their sheer height was remarkable beyond words. Detached, emotionally or physically disconnected, removed, distant, separated, aloof, detached from reality. After moving to the city, Ryan felt detached from his old life. His memories seemed removed. His emotions felt distant. His heart was separated from home, and his mind remained aloof, trying to adjust. Physiological, related to the body's functions or physical condition. Bodily, organic, biological, physical, physiological changes in athletes, Training led to physiological adaptations in Jake's body. His bodily strength grew, his organic systems improved, his biological endurance expanded, and his physical form reached peak condition. Endure. To suffer patiently or remain strong. Persevere. Withstand. Tolerate. Brave. Enduring the harsh winter. The travelers had to endure freezing temperatures. They persevered through snowstorms, withstood bitter winds, tolerated hunger, and braved the cold, never losing hope for survival. Cease. To stop or bring to an end. Halt. Discontinue. Terminate. Conclude. The battle must cease. As the dust settled, the generals agreed to cease hostilities. The fighting halted, negotiations discontinued, the war was terminated, and peace talks concluded, bringing relief to both sides. Mute. To silence or reduce sound. Quiet. Silent. Hushed. Speechless. The mute button. As the orchestra prepared, the conductor signaled for silence. The hall grew mute. The crowd stood quiet. The musicians remained silent, and the atmosphere felt hushed, with anticipation hanging thick in the air. Weigh. To assess or evaluate the importance of something. Measure. Consider. Judge. Assess. Weighing the options. Facing a difficult choice, Maya had to weigh her decision carefully. She measured the consequences, considered every possibility, judged the risks, and assessed which path would lead to success. Echo. A repeated sound or idea. Resonate. Reflect. Reverberate. Resound. Echoes of the past. As he stepped into the ancient hall, his footsteps echoed through the stone walls. The voices of history resonated, memories reflected in the silence, whispers reverberated, and the truth resounded in his heart. Years in the making, something that took a long time to develop, long awaited, gradual, delayed, carefully built. A dream years in the making. The artist's masterpiece was years in the making. His vision was long awaited, the process gradual, success often delayed, and each stroke was carefully built until perfection was achieved.